we need to understand the vulnerability of masculinity and what masculinity should be and reinvent that. It shouldn't be a destructive force. It should be a creative, not creative in the way of femininity is, but it should be a construction. Instead of
Hello my people, and welcome back to another Sit, Sip and Chat. My name is Glenda York of GCY Initiative, a destination marketing initiative based on the island of St. Martin. And today we are talking with Mr. Sigma Defense himself, Mr. Lorenzo Gomez. I'm using the government name, I hope that's okay.
That's all right.
I wanna be out, I wanna be outside, wanna be outside, wanna be out where you are. I wanna be outside, I wanna be outside, I wanna be out.
And we're gonna give a quick introduction of our guest. So Sigma is a lyrical virtuoso representing the vibrant beats and cultural tapestry of St. Martin. Sigma's songs paint a vivid picture of island life, blending with reggae, the bounce of calypso, and the grit of hip-hop into an irresistible sonic fusion. Growing up amid the sun-kissed landscapes post-Hurricane Louis, Sigma's passion for the music was ignited by the rhythmic waves crashing against the sandy shores. With heartfelt verses that mirror the island's resilience, struggles, and triumphs, Sigma's artistry has become a powerful voice for the community. From performing at local beach bars to captivating the biggest stages, Sigma Defense's infectious energy and authentic storytelling continue to bridge cultures and uplift spirits. Embracing his roots while embracing global influences, Sigma stands tall as St. Martin's lyrical ambassador to the world.
You're Rudy ain't helping at all.
At all. But that's what you get when you go outside.
Yeah, you know,
those type of things happen outside. And people, like I said, we outside.
Yeah,
if you're wondering where we is, this little piece from Miss Ruby Butte that's here behind of us, St. Martin, is asking for answers. We, the children, will have the answers, and positive change will come. Yep. We are here on the outside of the Phillipsburg Cultural Center, which holds us great significance to you, I remember.
Yep.
You want to tell me quickly about that?
Yeah, no, so this is a place where a lot of us creatives got opportunity to go on a stage and do our thing, you know. Clara Reyes invited me out here to do many shows with her. And of course, you know, shows with Andrew, shows with Michael Granger, all these people, all of us sort of did some things over here. So it's important, not just for me, but I think for the cultural movement on St. Martin.
Nice. And we decided to switch it up and just do it outside rather than inside, because you've seen inside lots of times. We wanted you to see and appreciate, well, what you can of the artwork, because the artwork in itself, I think, is pretty significant for the island as you're passing through the town area. So, first, for the people that don't know you, because we've interviewed before, you should check that out on YouTube if you haven't as yet. But for the people that don't know, who is Sigma Defense?
Well, they call me Lorenzo also. That's what my mom calls me, and some people call me. But like you said in that mouthful of a bio that they put together for me, you know, an artist, you know, a human being. I can't say that enough. And I'm a child of the island, you know, born here, raised here. Could trace my family back 200 years on this island, and you know, I'm very, very happy for that. Hi. So, yeah.
And then how did the whole music scene, how did we get into the music scene?
I used to write poetry, so I've always been an early reader. And one of the things that I loved is writing poetry. So, and it goes so far back, it's insane when I think about it. In first grade, we were all tasked to write in poems. And the teacher really liked my poem, and she put it up at the front of the classroom. And because of the structure, the rhyme, and everything, she felt that it was significant. Ever since then, classmates asked me to write poetry. And up until I changed schools because at first I was Sister Regina, and then we moved. So my mother brought us to Phillipsburg, which was closer to home, where we moved to. At St. Joseph, people found out that I would write poetry. And this guy came up to me and said, yo, I hear you just write, I want you to write some of my raps. So I was like, all right, cool, I'll give it a shot. So we wrote a few rap songs. And then I was like, yo, this looks like fun. I'll try and rap and spit a few bars. And they liked my voice. And then I started rapping. And I always like singing, so I experiment with it. At the time, I didn't have the confidence to really catch a tune. But as time went on and through practice and training and practice and failure and keep trying and trying and trying, I found something that worked for me.
Nice. I was just going to ask you, how did you find your sound? Because you started in poetry, then rapping, then singing, then you touched on the soca a little bit. Now you're more on a, people that know the definition of this music don't come from me, house, drum and bass, and those type of,
In a way, yeah.
You ventured into that. So how did you find your sound? Like, how do you figure out which one you want to feel out
Well, that's
in
the
that
thing,
moment?
right? Because my true fans, the people who've been listening to me from way back, a lot of them would say that, oh yeah, you know, Sigma's a rapper, right? And then there are some that came in as becoming fans of me during that evolution period in my mid-20s. And they would say, yeah, Sigma does whatever he wants. I recently did a post on my Instagram that kind of sort of went a little viral, and it was me just talking about, you know, I'll do whatever I want. You know, I think on the island there's a lot of different sounds. It's not just reggae, it's not just soca, it's not just calypso, it's not just rap, it's not just R&B.
There's so much more.
It's so much things. And for me, I've always loved a range of genres. If I want to do a rock song, I'll do a rock song. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is I think my setback has always been that people weren't ready to experience or to embrace an artist that is so open-minded when it comes to an open format with the kind of music he does.
Okay. So where would you say you are now? How would you define your music now?
Well, I don't know. I think I prefer to let people define it.
Okay.
But there was a guy who he had a blog and he interviewed me, and for a while he was sort of guiding me on who to go talk to and how to spread the message. And he came up with this term called Caribbean soul.
Okay.
And he felt like that was a good way to sort of, you know, put a finger on what I'm doing. It's global, it's for the whole world, but it's from the Caribbean. The way I speak is Caribbean. The topics I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Caribbean.
The core of it is.
And it's the soul of that. It's everything in one. And that's what Sigma is. Sigma is everything in one. So this in a way is a kind of a testament to that. So Caribbean soul
cool.
would be the term.
That came in very nice. Wow. Okay, guys, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back and talk about Sigma and what he's up to right now. We'll be right back. Hello, my people. Make sure you tune in to Sit, Sip, and Chat every Monday at 5 p.m. on TV15 and every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m.
And make sure tune in to the Late Night Show with Andrew Dick from Monday to Friday at 10 p.m. with a repeat in the afternoon for no reason. In the afternoon, the Late Night Show at 3 p.m. Thank you, TV15.
Thank you, TV15. Make sure to tune in.
Make sure to tune in to the Late Night.
And Sit, Sip, and Chat.
Late Night.
Remember, new episodes premiere every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 p.m. on TV15 and across other social media platforms.
I'm Jasenia Lassiter, wishing you a wonderful week.
Stay friendly, St. Martin.
My people, we are back. We're here talking with Mr. Ziggy Ziggy himself, Sigma Defense. Didn't expect that, night. Didn't expect that. Okay, good. Okay, so we have a new project that is out. It recently launched part 1. What is the project?
All right, so Blame Yourself. It's a 3-track EP that I released. And it's delving into relationships, the trials and tribulations of, and also in a way about forgiveness and forgiving oneself, but also accepting the blame on both sides. It's about that, and the response to it has been interesting. You know, people giving me feedback about the songs, people telling me how the songs touch them. It was really something I didn't expect. So I'm very, very grateful for that.
Nice. Okay, so this is part 1. Then you have a part 2 and part 3.
Yes.
I think by the time this comes out, part 2 and part 3 might actually be out.
Likely.
So we're going to give a little bit, but not too much, just in case, because the way how life does life, things doesn't always go according to plan.
That's
but
true.
tell us a little bit about part 2 and part 3 that's coming out.
Okay, so the first one is called Blame Yourself, right? And that's already out. That's a 3-track EP with the title song Blame Yourself, 2x2, and then Who Do You Care For? The second one is going to be called Love Yourself.
Okay.
And it's about the healing process after the breakup or after the damage was done. And then the last one is going to be called Trust Yourself. So that one is about confidence, getting yourself back on the path of what your true destiny is. I've been going through, for the past 2 years, I've been traveling a lot. You know, everybody who knows me knows this. I'm rarely on the island.
Yes, we know.
And I've seen a lot of things. I'm blessed to have the opportunity. And some people don't like that term, blessed, but I don't know the right word for it. Gifted, I guess. I've been gifted to have that opportunity to travel and see so much and experience so much. In that, a lot of the songs, they come to me, you know, in these moments of solitude, of isolation.
Okay.
A lot of time I'm in a hotel room by myself. You know, I do my work and I'm in the hotel room at the end of the day by myself. There's an isolation there, and through my creativity, it's always been through isolation. Outside was about isolation and coming out of the pandemic.
Okay.
And I want to be outside, you know, I want to enjoy life again. Birds Having Flown was about the pain of a failed relationship, but also, you know, trusting oneself. You know, Abandoned Ship, you know, that came out after the hurricane when we were all sort of limited in the things that we can do. So in this case, there is a sort of suffering that inspires the music. But at this level and at this stage in my life currently, I could recognize it and not be hurt by it. Instead, I can take it and channel it into the music in a way that I wasn't able to before.
Okay.
So some people would say it's growth. I find that it's an evolution. And you
About
know,
the same.
Yeah, I guess in a way, yeah.
Yeah, so I was gonna ask, because you said it was blame yourself, love yourself,
Yeah,
trust yourself.
trust yourself, yeah.
Okay, so it's just the different stages of hope and inspiration, because it's
Yeah.
life. It's
Yeah.
life. So if you're going through something, just need a little bit of realization. So you actually might be, you know, like indirectly, directly telling people like, it's okay, this is part of life. This
Yeah.
is life. This is part of it. We gotta go through it.
Exactly.
And then you get to this core part where you just gotta realize what's happening. So this is, like you said, in the isolation, in the times that you're by yourself, this is where the inspiration comes from for these songs. Now, what inspired you to, not for the songs themselves, but why did you choose to, let's say, package it the way you did with Blame Yourself, Love Yourself, Trust Yourself?
Like I said, the trips that I've been on and the journey I was on, especially this year, it was more intense. That feeling of loneliness. You know, I've lost a lot of friends over the years, you know, to death. And a lot of them were people that were very close to me. Inspirational messages. Sometimes I look back on those old chats and, you know, the stuff that we used to talk about. It was always very uplifting and positive. And losing that, sometimes you never know what you have until it's gone. Losing that kind of support and being totally alone, especially with these trips, and you have a lot of time to sort of break everything down to rebuild parts of yourself, and realizing how strong you are that you didn't even know that you were that strong. Seeing my great grandmother, who's 102 this year,
Nice.
and talking to her sometimes and understanding the path that she's been on. All of her friends are dead, but the strength to still wake up every morning and still look towards the day, that is something that's very inspirational. And there's been people in my life who's been very encouraging and very loving, and they keep telling me good words and looking out for me, and I'm always grateful for those people. With the blame yourself thing, it was a healing process, but it's also to tell myself and to tell those who get it, you got to understand that every way that you react to things is on you.
Very true.
People will come to you with all kinds of stuff, but how you react to those things, it's on you. It's you. And you have to blame yourself for how you react.
You're getting a little close to home now, so what we're going to do with that, we're going to take a break. We're going to take a step back, think about what he said a little bit, and we'll be right back.
What did you do?
Guess what? I got an idea. It's amazing. You see how we have the link sharing all everywhere?
QR link,
the
yeah.
QR link?
Yeah.
Raw Caribbean Channel app. Yeah. You're welcome. Put it in the back.
But it's not an app though. It's not an app. App, you have to like download something to get it on your phone, take up space. It's not an app.
It's like an app. Therefore, it can be an app. So, it's an app. Raw Caribbean TV app. Say it with me, Al. Come on.
It's not an app though. All you gotta do with that, it's a link. You take the link, you hit the bookmark, you say add to home screen, and so it shows up like an app icon, but it's not an app though.
Are you a real person? It is an app because you get to watch all the programs from Raw Caribbean at one place. It is an app.
I don't know how to explain this to you, but factually and technically, it's not an app. Kind of like we do the news, facts,
Yeah.
and you do that thing you do.
Whoa.
Point being, you just go to the QR, you hit bookmarks, and you hit add to home screen, and then you can have the link to, let's give it another name.
The app.
You want to call it the app?
Raw Caribbean TV app.
Jess.
Yes.
Jess, please, give some sense, Jess. Jess.
It's kind of like an app.
That's why she gets the big bucks.
It's not an app, though. It's not a app. What the It's not a app.
You kiss your mother with her mouth? My God. Watch Raw Caribbean TV app.
Watch Raw Caribbean TV app.
Yes.
It's not an app, though.
Qu'est-ce que tu fais là? Qu'est-ce que tu fais là? But sorry, no sir. They got this game tonight and I can't miss it. Me and my boy, we gotta watch the game, So I bringing this in. You check? Alright, let me watch your leg, girl.
Sir, sorry. Why so difficult? Look, I'm watching TV here on my phone with the Tel TV Plus app. You really gotta upgrade.
Okay, so miss, tell me about the Tel TV Plus. I gotta hear about this.
Okay, so once you apply for Tel TV Plus, you can enjoy it anytime on the go.
Anytime.
Anytime.
On the go?
On the go. You simply download the app, log into your account at any time, sit back and enjoy. You will never have to miss your match.
Yo, bus driver, take me back to tell him now, please.
My people, we are back. Still checking in with Sigma.
Yo.
You good?
Yeah, man.
Okay. So we were talking about you traveling.
Uh-huh.
So how has the reception been? First of all, I noticed you because I follow him on Instagram. I follow him on his socials. We know each other outside of this. I noticed one of them that you posted, you were with Big Lou.
Yes, Big Lou.
Okay, so first, how was the experience working with another St. Martiner abroad?
Yeah.
Because I don't think a lot of people on St. Martin know about Big Lou. And then how has the overall reception been of your music while abroad?
All right, so I have a bigger following overseas than I do on St. Martin.
Which makes sense.
It's just factual.
Yeah.
And there are places that I have yet to go to that I have a following at. So I hope to do so very soon. Now, Big Lou is a guy who, I know Big Lou since he was a little kid.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I know his aunt, I know his dad, I know his mom, I know all of them. His aunt and I are like besties. And he has grown so much. He wasn't even an artist, honestly. And nobody knew that he had a creative bone in his body. And he started writing out, and he'll probably tell you his story one of these days. But just briefly, he started writing, and he started recording, and he sent me stuff for feedback, and I gave him my feedback. And that's how we got friends, we become more friendly. So he told me one day, hey man, I have this thing going on every Sunday. It'd be dope if somebody from St. Martin could come in. Like he just said, dope if somebody from St. Martin. I was like, bro, what are you trying to say, right? So I tell him, yo, when you want me to come up? He's like, yo, when can you come up? I said, all right, I'll come next month. He's like, all right, dope. So I got my stuff together and booked the ticket and I went up there. He put the stage together, platform. Met some great guys also. And I met an artist from Sweden. And the feedback up there was pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Everywhere I went, look, Big Lou, y'all don't know, right? In the city of London, Ontario, Canada, this man is like the mayor.
Oh, nice.
Everybody knows Big Lou. This guy is a G. So that's somebody you gotta know. And in such a short amount of time,
Yeah.
he made such a huge wave, and I'm very proud of him for that.
Yeah, because I think he went up either last year or the year before.
But he only started making music 3 years ago.
Yes. Because I
3
remember
years ago.
because he came to the Poets Lounge quite a few times and he read some of his poetry and did some of his songs a cappella and he did the performances. And he mentioned like he recently started and then he moved back up. So that's cool to hear that he's doing.
Yeah, the
he's
guy's
doing
really
things.
cool and a lot of love.
Oh, nice. So where are some of the places that you visited when you were traveling?
All right, so the U.S., Canada, and the Caribbean, of course. I've also performed in St. Bart's. That was the best one because it was the less amount of time and the most amount of money. Just keeping it real. Barbados, I've done some things in Barbados, and I've done some things in Antigua. The Bajan community is very interesting. They're kind of like St. Martin. It's very, very difficult. And they prefer foreigners mostly than their own people a lot of times. And, you know, but the thing is about traveling and meeting new artists and meeting all these personalities is the fact that when you love what you do, right?
Yeah.
You'll find out that time just flies and you realize how long you've been doing it. A lot of these guys that I met 20 years performing, and most people outside of the country don't even know who they are. But they have like a movement that they have going on in their own countries, you know? I did a show recently in earlier this year, no, last year I did a show in Boston.
Yeah.
And it was very cool, very chill. This guy, he had his own event going on for a song release party, and he invited me to come up and DJ, but also to perform.
Oh, nice.
So I did because I also DJ. And it was really cool because a lot of people were kind of like looking and they were wondering, okay, who's this guy with these dreadlocks coming in this place and doing this weird style of music? After the show, people kept asking me like, yo, where you from? What's this, what's that? And it's interesting to me because the guy who put this together is not from the States. He's from Cape Verde.
Okay.
And in the movement that he has up there is so strong that he was able to put somebody else on. And I think like for St. Martiners, we don't quite do it in the US as much. We do it more in Holland and the Netherlands.
Yeah.
And in France, I see that the movement's happening and things like that, which is understandable. But I think that we need to broaden our horizons, you know? Go more in Africa, go more like Chantman, I see him in Africa doing his thing. Let's go more in South America, let's go in these places because those are places that I think are more open to hear our stories. In the US, it's a great experience, but the US, the music industry is so like microwave popcorn. it's packaged and made in a way that is easy for consumption. And because of that, a lot of the messages get lost.
Yeah.
And which is fine, you know. But at the same time, too, if you want to be somebody with a message, like me, I have a message that I want to tell the world. My movement isn't something that people can put on a poster and say, here's Sigma, come and see him.
You can't package easily.
It's tough.
Yeah.
And I used to be upset about that, you know, because I heard it before. You're a singer, you're a rapper that sings. Nobody want to listen to that. But look, there's Drake.
I was just thinking
There's
that.
all these
Like,
artists now, you know. And that was before them.
of course.
So in a way, I was kind of ahead of my time. And now, where that is so easy now, all the rappers are singers now, you know what I'm saying? But now what I'm doing is experimenting with sounds in a way that nobody expects somebody who looks like me or moves like me or comes from where I come from can do.
It's
you know?
unexpected.
Yeah, and
Which
that's
is
what it's
good.
about.
It works in your favor, I would think.
It can
and like
be
you
complicated.
said, you can, if you, depends on where you venture, because I think in South America and Africa and those, they're accustomed of different types of sounds, so they're more open to the sounds and the messaging and all of that. So what's next for Sigma?
All right, well, releasing the other 2 projects. We have some music videos that I'm working on, more shows, more overseas stuff. And I have a few other shows that I want to do back here in St. Martin.
Okay.
Right now, in the progress of putting it all together with the relevant parties. I need to write for some of these government guys, man. But the idea is just to spread the love and spread the message. I think I'm at a point in my life now where I would like to mentor, you know, some artists. And some people do come, like, for example, Lou, like, you know, he hit me up and was like, what do you think about this song? What do you think about that, you know? And there's other guys who send me messages and emails and, you know, working with different artists and playing with things. And like you said, the house thing that I did, that's really remixes of other songs, you know? And with Blame Yourself, now I can show people the different direction I'm going in, because Blame Yourself, the title track, is a pop song. That's like a Chris Brown kind of sound that I was kind of playing with. And then with 2x2 is more of a lo-fi. And then Who Do You Care For is like an Afrobeat lo-fi kind of style. And then I have a song called Slow Wine that's gonna come out at some point. That one is kind of like a Antillian soca mixed with compa, mixed with Afrobeat, mixed with pop, mixed with
It's a lot of mixing,
reggae, mixed with dancehall. Yeah, but that's who I am.
Yeah.
And that's what I like to put out there and experiment with the sound to find that nice tie-in, you know? And that's what I want to keep doing. I want to keep creating. I mean, I'm also working on movies. As you know, I'm an actor. So I'm working on a very personal project right now with Jarkey and Jarkey Studios. And that is something that is going to be, I think, very interesting to people to see me in a role like that, which is a very vulnerable and very heady and dramatic role. And we've been working on that movie for about 2 years now. And we're gonna have to do reshoots because I've lost all of this weight. But you know, the idea is that we want to tell a story that is relevant to the Caribbean and show how men's mental health is very important for our community. Women's health is important,
Yes,
and
but
that's not taken away.
Men's mental health is equally as important.
Agreed, but we don't shine a light to it a lot of times because there's this stigma about a man is supposed to be this way. And like I said off the record earlier, is we need to understand the vulnerability of masculinity and what masculinity should be and reinvent that. It shouldn't be a destructive force. It should be a creative, not creative in the way of femininity is, but it should be a construction instead of a destructive energy. And I think that we need to really see what the root of this disease is so we can actually fix it.
Nice. That is a mouthful. My people, Sigma said a whole thing right there. We're going to keep an eye out for his upcoming projects.
You don't know.
You already know when you're ready.
Yeah.
You just
they
let me
gotta
know,
drop it.
pass back through, you do this
done know.
again. And people, that is it for Sit, Sip, and Chat. Make sure you keep an eye out for Sigma and his projects,
Yeah.
musical and film as well. And follow him on social media to just see what he's up to and see what becomes of him
Sigma
on this
SXM.
journey.
Yeah.
Sigma SXM on Facebook and Instagram.
Facebook and Instagram.
There you go, and YouTube as well.
Yes.
Okay, my people. And until the next time, have a good one.
Don't know.